Hey guys, welcome to episode number 1 of the second season of Design and Manage, a City Skylines and Modded Let's Play series. In this series I will be showing you my thought process when building and managing an efficient and functional city, while also making it aesthetically pleasing, or in other words, to make it look good. In this episode in particular, I will be showing you how I like to start my cities, which in my opinion is one of the best ways to start any city in City Skylines when you are not using any mods. I am very excited to this new city, I am looking forward to it, I'm kinda curious to see how it's going to turn out. If you have any specific questions, such as what DLCs am I using or what map is this, please make sure to read the description as I will have all that information over there. If you have any other specific question, make sure to leave a comment and I will get back to you as soon as I can. So, without further ado, let's start building. Okay, so this is our starting tile. We should start building right about over here in this highway connection. I like to start my game paused so that we don't start incurring into any losses because we are quite limited by budget. So we are going to start by placing some roads. In the beginning you only have one road available, but as soon as you make a segment you unlock other types of roads. Now, when starting my cities, I personally like to start with the dirt roads because they are quite cheap to build and quite cheap to maintain. They have a very low traffic capacity and traffic runs very slowly here, but in the early stages of the city traffic will not be a problem. So in order to save some money and start getting into the green zone and make a profitable city right off the bat, I recommend using these ones, but this is just how I like to do things. So I am going to extend this road all the way over here, so that will be the starting point. In here I will make a split. On the left side I will start with a small industrial sector, and on the right side I will start making my residential and commercial sector. So this is going to be a very important intersection because this is where traffic will get into the city. For the time being, I want to make a perpendicular road about 5 blocks apart, and it's important that in the highway connections of your city you don't have a lot of interchanges close to each other. I will also want to extend this road over here, but we will not need it right off the bat because, as I said, traffic is not going to be a problem. So I'm just gonna make a small indication to represent the place where I will draw the road. I will also extend it over here because I'll need it as a guideline. Okay, so I am going to start to build my residential layout, and I think this time I am going to make them 3 blocks apart because this road is going to be converted into an avenue later on. So something like this. We have a 3 block gap between this road and also this road, as you can see over here, this blank space. This is something that I will want to keep. And here I will want to go about 3 blocks, and over here I will also want to go about 3 blocks. And this is going to be the basic shape of my layout, always leaving 1 block gap between neighborhoods. And I think I can also do the same over here. Okay, and I believe the intersection can be at around this space. And let's also make it go around this way and finish up the initial block. Okay, this is going to be more than enough to start. Let's jump to the industrial sector. I'll want to do the same at about over here. Unfortunately, I do not have this tile unlocked, so I cannot build any further, so we will have to work with what we have. Again, I want to leave a 3 block gap between our highway and also our layout, so I think this is going to be hit. And I also want to leave a 3 block gap between this road, the main artery, and also the layout. So I believe it's over here. Yeah, there we go. You can count the tiles 1, 2, 3 between these zoning spaces. Now let's make sure we do the same thing. Again, we are quite limited by space over here, but when we unlock this tile, we can continue this layout over here. But for the time being, this is going to be enough. And let's make sure this is perfectly straight. Okay. And I also think I'm going to make an additional block over here. Okay, this is a good start. And now we should start thinking about power. For power, I want to start with a dirty coal power plant. This one is much more expensive than this one, but it allows you to have a higher capacity. If you go for wind turbines, you will have to place a lot of them in the beginning of the game, which I think is quite annoying, so I prefer using this one. In the long term, I will want to have a clean power source. I will go for green energy, but for the time being, this is going to be more than enough. Now, regarding water, we have two choices when it comes to water pumping stations. We have this one, which needs to be placed along the coastline, and we have the water tower, which has quite the same capacity, but it's a bit more expensive to build. So this one is 2500 with 240 per week. This one is 3500 to build and a cost of 240 to maintain. So this one theoretically would be the best choice, but because it's so far away from my initial layout, it would cost me about 3600 to build a pipeline. So we're much better off to build a water pumping station, or sorry, a water tower next to our neighborhoods. And I am going to place it right about over here. We need to make sure the radius of the sound pollution doesn't affect our city, and this is going to be more than enough. And it also needs to be farther away from the industrial sector so that it does not pick the pollution on the ground level. That would be very, very harmful for your citizens. We will also need to build a water drain pipe, and this one we have no other choice but to place it very far away. So we'll place it about over here, and we will have to invest a bit into water pipes to bring the water all the way to the city, and also power lines. So we are going to start with some power. I need to provide power to, first and foremost, our water tower. Here we go. But also to the what's the name of that? The water drain pipe, where the sewage will go. So let's make it as efficiently as possible. 3000, that's the lowest cost we can go for. And we'll also need to bring power to our neighborhood, and I will bring it to about over here. Okay, this should be enough. Now let's move on to the water pipes. Personally, I like to keep everything neat, and I like to place my water pipes below the roads. So I'm gonna make a water pipe here, and for the time being a water pipe here. This is going to be enough to supply the entire city. Let's just bring a few pipes here to bring water to this part of the layout. And here I will need to extend the pipeline over here and make some pipes in a way that will provide water to the entire layout. Like this. This is pretty good. Okay. Now we can start making some zones. Let's start with residential. I think I am going to build this entire block. Okay. We can do it like this. Perhaps I will dezone this. No, actually, let's zone it. Let's keep it zoned. Let's also zone this area. And that should be enough to start. And the same with industry. Right now we only have demand for residential, but I like to zone industrial right after residential, because as soon as you have some houses growing here, you will have some industrial demand right away. So we can predict the shift in demand and start building some industries already. And I believe we have everything set. Oh no, we are missing something. We also need to connect the city to the water pipe, so I am going to bring a pipe all the way over here. That will cost us 3,000, but that's okay. Alright guys, we built everything our city needs from the start, and we still have 17,000, which puts us in a very good position. Now, before I unpause the game and let the simulation run, there's one thing that I would like to do. I want to go into our economy panel and set the budget. This is something that I see a lot of players not do, which is adjusting the budget. This is going to be irrelevant in the future when you have a lot of money, but in the early stages of building a city, this is actually going to help you to have a profitable income as soon as possible. So, because our water and power facilities have such a high capacity for the size of the city in its current state, there's no need for us to spend 100% of the budget in these services. So what we can do is reduce the budget all the way to, let's say, 60% on both of them. On water, I even think I'm going to go to 50, and we are going to adjust the budget as our city grows and demands for more power and also water capacity. So I think everything is set, so let's unpause the simulation and see how it develops. Okay, it seems that we have our first houses getting built. It's pretty great. Okay, I actually forgot to do something very important, which is connecting our water tower to our main pipeline, but that's not a big deal. We can do it right now and unpause the simulation, and all of these water issues are going to be fixed. We are starting to have a bit of commercial demand, so I know that I will want to place my commercial on this road. This is going to be an avenue, but because this road is not to its full size yet, I am going to temporarily zone some commercial about over here. And we are going to start having some shops, and we also start having some industry. And we can see our first residents moving in to our city. Now, as I've said, this dirt road is going to be an issue in the future, but in its early stages of the city, as you can see, it's more than enough to handle the current traffic. And we can see the citizens coming into their new houses, which is always a nice sight to see. Okay. And look at this. We are already on the green zone. We never had a negative budget, we never ran into losses, and we were never at risk of going bankrupt. So this is the way I like to start the cities, safe and secure way. Now we have more demand for residential, so I believe we can continue to expand it. There we go, and I believe this is going to be enough to jump us to the first milestone. That requires you to have a population of 460. Right now we only have 254, 55. Actually, I think I'm gonna zone an additional block. And I'm gonna zone some more temporary commercial right about on this block. Okay, so this is actually a good opportunity to show you the current power and water situation. Right now we have the budget of our power to 60%, and we are producing a total of 14 megawatts, and we are only consuming about 8. So as you can see, I could even reduce the budget a bit further. Oh, and there we go, we reached our first milestone, a population of 460, and with this we unlock taxes and also loans and also some services, which I'm going to jump in right away. I just want to show you the water situation. We are going to need to raise the budget in a bit, but for now it's more than enough. What I want to do right here is go into the taxes, since we have unlocked them, and I want to raise the taxes all the way to 11%. When you raise your taxes, you are going to increase your income, but you will also decrease the demand for that specific type of zoning. So you gotta be careful with that. This is actually a good way to control the demand. For example, let's say I don't have any demand for commercial. Let's say I would want to build a few shops and I would want to raise the demand. I will simply decrease the budget of commercial to about 6 or 7%. So that would be a good way to control your demand. But anyway, we have a bit of demand for industry, so let's keep zoning. And we also need to extend our water pipeline over here, so I believe we can extend the water pipe all the way over here. Okay. And one of the things that I want to do right now, since we have unlocked education, I want to place a school, because education takes a long time to build up. So this is something that I want to start working on quite early. So I'm gonna place a school in the central part of this neighborhood for a nice and wide coverage. And right now we have a capacity for 300 students and we have 98 eligible students. So again, we can decrease the budget of schools to about, I don't know, 75%. Let's see it. And right now we only have a capacity for 171. Okay, so when we have more eligible students, I will raise the budget to keep up with the demand. Another thing that I want to place right away is actually this landfill site, because trash is going to be an issue if not addressed. So what I want to do is grab a dirt road. I believe I want to go about this many tiles. Okay, let's go all the way over here. Let's make a bridge by pressing page up. Let's go all the way over here. And now let's see, this one was 140, so 1040 on this side as well, to make them perfectly symmetrical. And let's extend the road all the way over here, and let's place this landfill site right here. Okay. And we should now start seeing some trucks getting out of this site. Let's put it on 3 speed. Yeah, and there you go. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I believe it's going to use all the trucks. That's cool. We are starting to have our first water issues, so let's raise the budget of water all the way to, I don't know, 65% or 64. That seems about right. And let's start zoning some more residential. So I think I want to zone this block. And I also think this is a good opportunity for us to start upgrading our roads. So I think first and foremost I want to grab my avenue and I want to upgrade this road. And I think I want to upgrade it all the way until this place. And I will want to start zoning some commercial right about here. Okay, and we can start unzoning the temporary commercial. We can also start upgrading our residential roads. So let's grab the 2-lane normal road and let's start upgrading these neighborhood roads. Okay, pretty cool. Now when it comes to industry, I will want to use this new industrial road. Where is it? Oh, we're actually needing a population of 1400. So I think I'm gonna hold on onto that. But we can start upgrading these roads right away. The roads that lead into the city. So let's turn this into a one-way road. And let's turn this also into a one-way road leading out of the city. And it seems that I'm going to delete a power line. That's no big deal. Let's quickly rebuild it. Okay. And let's also delete this small patch of road because we no longer need it. Okay, time to raise our power budget a little bit, so let's go all the way to 75%. Cool. And now let's keep zoning and expanding our city. Let's also not forget to upgrade the road types. And let's also zone some industry. I think I'll zone all of this. And I will leave this space blank for additional power stations. And look at that, we have reached our second milestone. We have reached a population of 900, and with this we unlocked a series of other services. And one of the most important ones is actually this new tile that we can purchase, which is what I'm going to do right now so that we can expand our industrial layout. So let's buy this tile over here. There we go. That also gives us access to this train track, which is going to be very useful to import and export cargo, as it is right next to our industry. But I want to first and foremost extend the layout. So let's see, over here that's a cost of 860. So 860 on this side would be right about over there. I think this is it. Oh, sorry. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So let's just upgrade the layout. Also, one of the things that I want to do different this season is that I want to give my city a proper name. So that's one of the challenges that I have for you guys. I want you to suggest some names for this city. So if you have a good suggestion of a name, please make sure to mention it in the comment section down below. I will be paying attention to the most liked comments. So if you see that someone has suggested a name that you really enjoy, make sure to like that comment so I can see it. Okay, so we've just had our first fire and we've had our first burned down building. So this is actually a good indication that we need to place our first power station, not power station, sorry, our first firehouse. And I like to put them in accessible roads. In this case, that's going to be our avenue. And I'm gonna put it right in the corner, right about here. Okay, that should be more than enough. We can also delete this burned down building. And we can also take advantage of this opportunity to start building our first police station as well, for a cost of 12,000. And let's put it right next to our firehouse. There we go, right across the street. Okay, our city is booming and we have a lot of demand for residential, so let's keep upgrading our modular grid layout. You know, starting layouts are always a bit sketchy because you don't have a lot of money and you'll have to sacrifice aesthetics for efficiency. And for me, grids are the most efficient type of layout, so there's no reason not to go for a grid. And let's zone this with some more houses, and I believe we can also zone this area as well. And let's expand our piping network. There we go. And there we go, our third milestone. We have reached a population of 1400, and this gives us a lot of things, including pathways and new types of roads, canals, I don't know, new services, new policies, park areas, which is something that I'm definitely want to use. But these are all things that we are going to experiment on the future episodes. For now, I just want to do some small detailing. First and foremost, I want to address the water issues. We need to raise the budget a bit more. Let's jump it all the way to 92. That should be enough. We have also unlocked new types of roads, and as you can see, traffic is starting to get a bit problematic here, so I want to take our newly acquired industrial road, and I want to upgrade all of our industrial layout into this type of road. This road is cheap to build and cheap to maintain, and it's more than enough to this type of building, or to this type of service, which is industry. So let's upgrade it all the way until here, and we can also upgrade these roads to normal roads. There we go. Now we have a lot of traffic in this particular segment as predicted. If I go into this view, where is it? The traffic routes, and I click here. Oh, what have I done? Okay, there we go. So if I click on this road, we can start seeing that we have a lot of traffic coming into this segment. We have a lot of trucks who want to get out of town, right about over here using this road, and we also have a lot of private vehicles, which are the ones in purple, that are just people who are trying to go into their jobs and into their homes. So I believe we can split this traffic into two, and we are going to keep this road as an international road where trucks can come and go out of the city, but I am going to add an additional route for people to go from their homes to their offices, and I'm going to do that by adding an additional road. I am going to make a bridge, okay, over here, and I'm going to connect it directly to our residential sector, so that people have a quicker and easier way to get into their jobs. And I'm gonna pause the game because I'm going to delete a power line. And let's go all the way here and connect it. We also need to rebuild this power line, so let's do it like this and delete this segment and also this segment. Okay, so let's try out this new road. Let's see if people actually start using it. Ah, there we go, a perfect split in traffic. Okay guys, but I think that's going to be it for today. I think we're off to a very good start on this city. We have achieved a lot of milestones today, and our city is already running into a profit, which is great. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you want to learn more about City Skylines, make sure to stick around, maybe subscribe and like this video, because I'm going to be posting more videos of this city, and I'm going to turn it into a very profitable and efficient and developed city. If you are already a subscriber of mine, I hope you are as excited for this series as I am. Give me your thoughts. What do you think? Do you think this was a good map to start? Do you think this was a good initial layout? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. But yeah guys, that's going to be it for today. I hope you have enjoyed the video. I will see you soon for episode number 2. Until then, take care and have fun.